I'm Matt Doyle, and this is B2B Blueprint, the show that dives into the strategies and tactics that drive success in B2B SaaS marketing, like Meta. Many B2B companies hesitate to use Meta. Maybe it's due to past results or perceived limited ROI, but with the right setup and smart targeting, Meta can support your marketing funnel, and it's a low-cost way to re-engage audiences. Today, we're joined by Senior Account Strategist John Taylor, who is an expert in leveraging Meta. He'll share insights into how to set up campaigns, target the right audiences, and how to measure your success. Hey John, thanks for joining us.
Hey Matt, thanks for having me here. I'm real excited to talk about this.
Absolutely, we are too. So why don't we just get right into it? John, talk to me about Meta and B2B paid advertising.
Well, I've been in this space for a long time, and I think what I've learned most about B2B is that a lot of companies are really hesitant to add Meta to the marketing mix, either based on previous results, lack thereof, or limited ROI. I think that all of it really comes down to structure, smart setups, ad types, middle of funnel approaches. You can definitely help support your funnel with the large audiences Meta has to offer by getting all of that right and tight together.
Awesome. So why is Meta in paid advertising valuable to clients who might be trying to grow their business?
Meta is really inexpensive in a lot of ways. It offers low-cost ways to retarget, re-engage stalled audiences that you have. It also has support like retargeting across the board and can help you build up audiences on platforms that you might see more success from, say LinkedIn or another type of platform that you're really seeing a lot more success on.
So this all sounds great. How does it work?
It works basically by starting where you need to start and finishing where you need to finish, and doing it in that order. I know that sounds really vague, right? But what you want to do are find methods of targeting that help you support prospecting as well as gathering information that you're looking for. By combining lead formats and a selection of your audiences, as well as trying to use Facebook's tools Meta's tools as effectively as possible, you can really start to see some success there. At Directive, our focus on audience building is the key to success on all of our outbound platforms. Although it's clearer to target users by self-reported job titles, there are ways to do so on Meta. It's just a little bit different. So let's dive into that. So we're going to start with this sandbox account I have. Forgive the campaign names. I used to have a cover band. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to hop in and we're going to create a really straightforward lead format. The first thing, though, is really to have your audiences set up. There's a number of audiences that I like to have set up when I first get my hands on an account. So if you're running your own account, if you're running a client account, you need to have these set up. The first one is website visitors, 180 days. Having that, it doesn't work retroactively, so you want to make sure that you have that set up as soon as you can. Any website visitor campaigns are audiences for pages that you specifically want to get audiences from. So any pages that are non-indexed that might be specifically for paid media are really good ones to have set up. Facebook and Instagram page visitors from the last year, it's a really interesting audience that you can play with if you're looking for more scale. In terms of other video, you want to make sure that your videos over 50% watched are also being targeted. You can literally pick any videos, not just videos you've run as paid, but also organic videos you may have seen success with. And then finally, I think one of the most important things would be first-party contact lists or zero-party contact lists. Try to append your data, though. One of the things that I find that people do is give lists of business emails in first name, last name to Facebook. Most people don't log into Facebook with their business email. So being able to reach that person, there's some talk that Facebook has a way to kind of connect those folks together. I don't see that. The match rates are really bad when you do that. So if you can't append the data with the personal email, please do so. That'll make your list a lot stronger. And also, finally, I think if you have a tool like Primer that can connect kind of those audiences, those B2B audiences to Facebook based on your setup in a tool like Primer, definitely push those through. Those are going to be the best place to start. But make sure that you have all those audiences together. Secondly, you want to really identify your offer. It may not be a free trial. It may not be a gift card. It can be just as simple as a white paper. You're trying to get people into your funnel interested in your product and establish yourself as, a brand or a product or a service that people need in your space. I'm going to be focusing on a white paper today. But again, you can do, if you have a free trial, a sale, any kind of thing that you want to push out there, you can definitely start to gather that information with that offer. I've actually been offered a cold brew maker for tools that I would potentially use. So it really could be anything you want. So let's just jump into actually creating one of these campaigns. I'm going to do it from scratch and see how it goes. So you're just going to click create. I think if you're a marketer, you've seen all this before, but there are definitely things that Facebook has changed that can make B2B campaigns less successful. So I'm going to be, again, focusing on leads. Do not use the recommended settings. I think it could be worth a test if you have the budget for that, but really you want to have as much control over the campaign as possible, especially with B2B. It's going to give you this clean slate, and I'm going to go through each step and hopefully, get to the point where this makes sense for you. You're going to want to turn on the Advantage campaign budget. This is what the Facebook used to call campaign budget optimization. You can set this on a daily or a lifetime level. One of the things I like to say is I prefer lifetime because Facebook will then throttle the money. If there's 10 people on one day and 100 people on another day, they're going to spend less money on the 10-person day than the 100-person day. However, a lot of us work with daily budgets because we have monthly limits. There's different ways to use a lifetime that way. I would suggest that if you have the ability to use a lifetime, use it. You can always extend it and add more money at the end. But if you're running like a number of different accounts here, it's one of those things that might slip. So run it daily if you're concerned about that. I'm just going to use $20 as a baseline. Your budget should really be based on an initial pilot, and then what you're comfortable spending or what your agency is telling you is a good place to start. I generally skip over everything else. There is this feature called budget scheduling. Budget scheduling would be awesome, especially during slow times of year, but it only allows you to increase your daily budget. So if you do know that you have like a busy week coming up or its seasonality is coming up and you don't have time to really jump into every platform and change all the budgets, this is an option. But typically, I don't trust it. I'd rather do it myself. You can also set some ad scheduling, or maybe if it's daily, I can't do that. Facebook has started removing options that give you more control over things. So that's why I like to kind of just look at this stuff individually, one by one. If you're going to run an A/B test, do not use Facebook's tool. It's very much weighted towards Facebook results and not so much what you're looking for. It also limits the amount of time you can run that test for. So if you're looking for like a much larger set of data beyond, say, 2 weeks, sometimes Facebook will actually say that the campaign, like the result is done after 4 or 5 days. You don't want to really, I don't think that's enough personally, but that's up to you if you want to play with that. Now we're going to jump into the ad set. This is where all the targeting happens. So a few of the things you want to do: make sure you've got your page set up. We have it blurred out here. Make sure you've accepted anything that's not accepted here. This really has to do with lead ads, audiences, things like that. It's going to lock you into a few things. We're trying to maximize the number of leads that we're getting. There are some other options here when you get charged, things like that. They have a number of them locked out because I've not chosen instant forms. So you're going to go down. If you want to set a goal cost, you definitely can. If you want to look at volume, if you want to look at website leads, you can do so. We're just looking at generally on Facebook leads with this example, but I'll talk about a few different ways to do that. This is a great feature that Facebook is getting rid of soon. So I would recommend you use it while you have it. I'm going to turn this on and use it while you have it. It's a really great. We'll see how that works in the next step. Your schedule. Typically, if you have to connect the lead form to your CRM and things like that, I usually set this a day or two out. You can always just start it immediately once you're done with all your setup, but I like to set it a few days out just to make sure that I have everything set when it goes to run. And if you have an end date and you're running a lifetime, you want to set an end date, or else Facebook will take $500. And if you don't set some kind of end date, it'll just kind of parse out that money until it decides you spent all of it. In terms of budget scheduling, that really has to do with that same, limits, days of the week, other things that I brought up in the last step. You can always go in and do that. You can also add for each ad set a certain amount of money. I don't do that because the reason that we use the Advantage Plus budget is so that Facebook can find the days that are best for you in the lifetime, or you want to make sure that it puts the money where it needs to go.